Right now, on To The Point, tracking more rounds of rain and snow, how it will impact your weekend. 3 people charged for Sacramento's deadly K Street shootout appear in court in front of victims' families. Plus, investigating charter schools, why the concept is often seen as controversial, and why are car insurance costs going up. But first, tonight, we're tracking another round of storms across our area. Good evening. This is To The Point. I'm Becca Hobbiger. Alex has the night off. This is a live look at downtown Sacramento. Right now, some showers are popping up around the area. Meteorologist Carly Gomez joins me tonight to break down the timing of it all. And Carly, what can people expect heading into the weekend?
Yeah, we are looking at showers. We're starting off scattered. Then we'll start to see the heavy stuff coming in with the second storm system moving in on Sunday night throughout your Monday. So get ready. It's a very wet weekend ahead. We are tracking the showers moving in now and even looking at a few thunderstorms popping up for areas right around Modesto and just toward the east there, as you see just south of Sonora. Otherwise, some of the heavier stuff pushing in the next couple of hours before coming light, and then seeing more scattered showers throughout your Saturday morning and afternoon. A winter weather advisory will be in effect until Sunday, 4 p.m. for some areas, as well as lasting as late as Tuesday. So they're issuing the first ones and the first sent with the first storm system, then the next set of winter weather advisories for the second storm system coming up on Sunday night into Monday. Now, wind advisory also in effect north of Sacramento to Redding. Some strong wind gusts expected. This is Friday through Saturday night. Now, we are looking at excessive rainfall potential with the flood watch in effect as well. This is going to last as late as 4 a.m. Tuesday for areas from Sacramento toward the foothill spots of Auburn, Yuba City. And tonight, expect temperatures right around the mid-50s. Tomorrow, 59 degrees. We'll talk more about how much rain and snow we're expecting.
And you can stay up to date on weather conditions wherever you are with the free ABC 10 app. Download it in the App Store and be sure to turn on notifications. In other news tonight, the first of several preliminary hearings for the K Street shooting suspects ended a short time ago. Several family members of the shooting victims were present to see and hear from witnesses of that April 2022 shootout. Roxana Leah spent the day at Sacramento County Superior Court and spoke with the victims' families.
Becca, a very long and grueling day for the families of those victims who had to relive that day all over again. Most of them were too emotional to speak to me on camera, but they tell me that they want justice to be the outcome. Now, earlier today in the courtroom, it was a packed room as the families of victims, as well as the 3 defendants, sat listening to accounts of that day. In total, 6 people died, 12 others were hurt. Much of the hearing involved conversations with law enforcement from Sacramento Police Department and how they responded to victims and the crime scene. Officers say they remember it as being very chaotic, a lot of screaming and yelling. And for the first time, some families also watched video and looked at pictures of those loved ones they lost that day. Now, at one point, 2 mothers erupted in tears, one fainting, which put the hearing on pause until she could be helped. The founder of Impact, who is advocating for the families involved, says it's obviously a very difficult time on the first day because they're having to see and hear things that they haven't heard yet. Meanwhile, families and the father of Sergio Harris, one of the deadly victims, says it's a waiting game until they hear the verdict.
It's very important for me to get justice. If it's happening, it's going to happen.
Emotions are high, understandably. And then there's a fear factor, right? So safety is always an issue. And so a lot of these families have never been in the same room. And so they're going to hear some things that are going to cause them to feel very high emotions.
Preliminary hearings are set to start back up next Friday at around 10 in the morning. More witnesses are expected to give their testimony of that deadly night. Becca, back to you in studio.
Actor Alec Baldwin has been indicted on an involuntary manslaughter charge in the deadly Rust movie set shooting that killed cinematographer Helena Hutchins. Special prosecutors brought the case before a grand jury in Santa Fe this week, months after receiving new analysis of the gun that was used. Baldwin has said he pulled back the hammer but not the trigger and the gun fired. Defense attorneys say they plan to fight the charges. In Tuolumne County, crews are working to clear a train derailment. It happened this morning in Sonora, out South Washington Street and Hospital Road. Police tell us the derailment damaged several cars parked in the area. No one, fortunately, was hurt. For over a year, investigative reporter Andy Judson has been investigating Highlands Community Charter and Technical Schools. The adult charter school gets funded by taxpayer money. With campuses throughout California, Highlands enrollment has grown to more than 15,000 students. Last night, we brought you the final episode, and many who have watched have asked questions about how charter schools operate and get funded. Well, Andy is back with an expert on this topic.
Yeah, meet Dr. Frank Adamson. He has researched education for years and its systems, and he has published research for agencies like the United States Department of Education with over 40 publications. We went to him to get a better understanding of California's complex charter school system and also brought him our investigation's findings.
Kind of look like at the United States as 50 different countries, really 13,000 little school district countries that we have to study. You know, we have local school boards and they run the show.
School boards run the show for traditional public schools and charter schools in their districts.
Charter school is a charter between a school and the authorizing agent, which would be usually a school district.
Where it gets complex is while many charter schools are overseen by a school district, they can also operate independently.
So they function autonomously. A lot of times schools want to claim the public just because they receive the public money, but that doesn't really tell the whole picture.
Sometimes the charter school will call itself a public school, other times a company. Adamson says he has seen charter schools cherry pick how they define themselves.
So when there is a desire to convince the public, you hear the term public charter schools. When you're trying to convince an audience of funders that your approach is very innovative, you will hear the term, we're a tech-based company.
It's something we noticed with Highlands.
Technology coupled with human greatness is going to get us where we want to be.
How Highlands Charter School spends millions of public school funds was a main focus of our investigation. We reviewed 2 years of Highlands expenses and found they spent over $3 million on travel.
So in a nonprofit charter school, you can funnel monies in different ways. When I look at a budget, I'm looking to see, are those monies going to the classroom and will they end up benefiting the student, or are they benefiting the management side?
Like high salaries for the charter school senior management. We asked him about the salary of Highlands Executive Director Doc Smith.
Would you say $350,000 in pay and benefits for a year would be among those lines of a high salary for a leader?
That seems like a high salary in education. My salary is public, and I'm a professor at Sac State, and I don't make anywhere close to that. I do want to bring up one other thing that you didn't have in your notes, which is I went through the listing of leadership, and it struck me that there was a lot of correctional facility expertise.
For example, Doc Smith spent 29 years in corrections, not education. And out of the 10 Highlands board members, half come from law enforcement and corrections. It's something Adamson saw when researching charter schools in New Orleans.
So I get very nervous when I see possibly a correctional approach being applied within the education system.
Another aspect of Highlands that drew his attention was that the school has really no competition for students.
The theory is that charter schools will compete against each other and the public schools, and that competition will produce better results for students and families.
Because it's an adult school, it's not necessarily like other schools within Twin Rivers competing for those students.
Yes, I mean, Highlands is an unusual situation. It's a very niche area within education sector. And so I don't know what the incentive is for Highlands or any institution to improve when there's actually nobody else out there to do it. And that's the fundamental approach of the system.
When it comes to charter schools, Dr. Adamson says one of the main issues is lobbying. That's why he says while the charter school system needs more oversight and policy, there also needs to be in-depth conversations about passing legislation. Becca?
Andy, great work this week. Thank you. If you missed any of the episodes of The Wild West of Education, you can watch all 4 of them on YouTube or ABC 10 Plus. Just look for the app on your Roku, Amazon Fire, or Apple TV. Still ahead on To The Point, the cost of car insurance is going up. We ask what can be done about it.
We're tracking the first of 2 storm systems moving in, how much rain and snow we're expecting, and what watches and warnings you need to know about.
Plus, more relief for those students with student debt. How many borrowers could see their loans forgiven? And later on the back roads, we take you to the town where you can only get around with a snowmobile this time of year. Welcome back. Let's talk weather now with meteorologist Carly Gomez. Carly, some more storms coming through this weekend.
Yeah, and we're seeing them right now. They have showed up as that first storm system moves in. The showers have made their way onshore, and we are seeing those scattered showers across most valley spots and now up into the foothills. As we see the first one move through, it'll wrap right back around into your Saturday morning, bringing more showers, and then Sunday morning. But the second one is really dragging in quite a bit of moisture with this atmospheric river as it pulls it back in. We'll see Sunday night through Monday with heavy and intense downpours. Here's that first atmospheric river, pretty light. Take a look at that second one. A lot of moisture near areas of the Hawaiian Islands. Finally moving in for us as we get into Sunday night and Monday. And then we'll see another shot for some more scattered showers by Tuesday night into Wednesday. But as we talk about what we can expect, the flood watch that'll take effect is really going to be late Saturday night and for areas around the coastal range, and then inland from Sacramento to the foothills. We could see it until Tuesday 4 a.m. So Sunday to Tuesday 4 a.m. is really what we're expecting. The heaviest rain Sunday night to Monday night. Prolonged heavy rain will be expected, and that'll increase the levels there for the creeks and streams, rising them as a lot of that runoff comes off the foothills. Winter storm warning in effect for high elevations above 6,000 feet, and we are looking at a wind advisory as well. That's issued for tonight and lasting through Saturday night for very strong wind gusts from Yuba City north toward Redding. And we're going to see strong winds pretty much for everyone as we continue on from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and even into Monday. Strong winds up and down the valley and foothill spots. And we're looking at rain starting to come in as well. Scattered showers Friday and Saturday. So on and off scattered showers and snow showers. And then finally, as we start getting through Saturday and Saturday night, we start to see heavy rain moving into Sunday. And there's that next system just offshore. Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. into your Monday. Heavy rain expected. Up to about a ½ inch of rain for the first storm system. The second one, 1 to 2 inches of rain is possibly expected as we see that from areas of the valley up toward the foothills. When it comes to snowfall totals, we could see anywhere from about 8 to 20 inches possible for high elevations, especially at that pass level. And then we are looking at our temperatures still pretty warm. Upper 50s out there the next 3 days. Then we start getting into the low 60s to mid 60s toward next weekend.
Next on To The Point, car insurance is getting more expensive. Why and what can be done about it? Plus, Republicans in the race for president make their case in New Hampshire, what they're saying about each other. In your price points tonight, if the cost of your car insurance is going up, you're not the only one. All across the state, drivers are facing higher premiums. I spoke with an insurance expert who explains why and what you can do about it.
California is home to more than 27 million licensed drivers, and many of them are seeing their auto insurance premium go up.
It's ridiculous. They're going up like crazy. Everything else, like the gas prices. It's very hard to make a living here.
Bought a new vehicle, compared it with a couple family members and friends on insurance, and it's much different than years ago.
So what explains the rising costs?
Every accident costs thousands of dollars, whereas there used to be smaller claims.
Insurance expert Carl Sussman says the technology in today's cars makes them more expensive to repair, adding to a rise in premiums.
10 years ago, 15 years ago, you have a bumper that gets damaged. You go to the body shop, they'd say, well, we can knock out the bumper, rebuff it, and you're fine. Now, that same accident, you hit that bumper, you have cameras, you have sensors, you have LiDAR, you have all sorts of high technology in it. On top of it, you can't just have anybody install it. And on top of it, we still have shortages in trying to get these parts.
Also, he says during the pandemic, the California Department of Insurance effectively put a freeze on premium increases to make life easier for consumers.
Even though inflation was going up, we know there were labor shortages, we know there were parts shortages, we knew all that stuff. The premiums that we were paying were unchanged. Well, now they're coming back. So we're feeling this boomerang effect, sort of playing catch up to where premiums need to be.
So what can we do? First, since premiums are based in part on a driver's record, drive safely.
Frequency of accidents is way up. It's almost double what it was prior to the pandemic. No idea why.
Second, he says,
don't put in a claim that you can afford to pay. You're going to end up paying a higher premium, and you're going to end up eating through that money that you would have paid up front anyway.
Third, he says, you can go with a higher deductible, just don't go without insurance.
We're in a transition period. Hold on to the policies you have, put them on auto pay, don't let them lapse, and stand by, hopefully, for things to get better.
Now, this could also affect your rental car experience. Just last week, Reuters reported Hertz is selling some 20,000 electric vehicles from its U.S. rental fleet. The company says repairing damage to the high-tech vehicles is just too expensive. It's opting instead for gas-powered vehicles. Good news tonight for nearly 74,000 student loan borrowers. The Biden-Harris administration has approved $4.9 billion in additional student loan debt relief. This is the result of fixes the administration made to income-driven repayment forgiveness and public service loan forgiveness. The announcement brings the total loan forgiveness amount to $136.6 billion for more than 3 million Americans. Starting on Monday, dozens of members from the California Faculty Association will go on strike at campuses across the state. For almost a year now, the union has been bargaining with the CSU system. The CFA says university management has rejected their calls for 12% raises, pay equity, and expansions to parental leave, among other things. The strike is expected to last all week. The university system says they will not cancel classes, but classes could be impacted by those who participate in the strike. Now to the race for the Republican nomination for the White House. The New Hampshire primary is just 4 days away. Former President Donald Trump and Nikki Haley are fanning out across the state today. Trump telling voters Haley isn't tough enough. Haley saying America needs a new generation of Republican leadership.
She's not going to make it. She has no chance. She's got no way.
Yeah, I mean, I think if he thinks I have no chance and I have no hope, then why is he running millions of dollars of ads against me?
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has set his sights on South Carolina. Trump and Haley have framed next Tuesday's primary as a two-person race, escalating their attacks on each other. Meanwhile, Senate leader Toni Atkins just announced her bid for California governor in 2026. Atkins, who is a Democrat from San Diego, made history as only the third person and first woman to serve as both Speaker of the Assembly and President pro tem of the Senate. Atkins is still serving in that latter role, but plans to step down early next month as she enters the final year of her term. She cannot seek re-election because of term limits. Now, if elected to governor, Atkins could become the first woman and openly LGBTQ person serving as governor in California. Next, on To the Point, we hit the back roads to a town where snowmobiling is the only way to get around this time of year. Hey, it's Friday, which means it's time for another trip on the back roads, and there's a really fun-looking way to travel the back roads today. John Bartelt takes us to Bear Valley in snowy Alpine County, where this time of year the only way to get around is on snowmobile.
Well, most of us use cars or maybe a bicycle in our daily commute, but here in the little mountain town of Bear Valley, the snowmobile is the only way to get around.
On average, Bear Valley gets around 5 feet of snow each year, which drums up plenty of business for local snowmobile taxi driver Don Hicks.
Yeah, and all the cabins have my number, and that's what I do.
There's about 9 miles of unplowed snow covering the roads in the residential portion of Bear Valley. And up the road is the local ski resort, which is conveniently placed above the home so residents can ski right to their front doorstep.
This sure beats walking.
Of course, paying for a snowmobile taxi isn't the only way to get around.
This is probably half of the snowmobiles that are up here.
Many part-time residents own their own snowmobiles and store them here at Bear Valley Snowmobile Storage and Rental. Owner Mike Denicola says his one-of-a-kind business simply exists because the roads in town can't be plowed.
If they plowed them and put them on the side of the road, the homeowners wouldn't be able to get to the homes.
Now, you don't have to live up here to enjoy snowmobiling. You can always rent one.
You're definitely gonna want to remember to bring your sunglasses or goggles.
Bear Valley Snowmobile Rental is one of the few places that allows you to go on a self-guided tour. I, however, opted to ride along with Steve Harima for a little history lesson.
The Washoe would come from the east and the Miwok would come from the west.
Native American and mining landmarks are scattered all along Highway 4 in the Ebbets Pass area, and so are a number of alpine lakes and cabins. It's remote up here, and a snowmobile is about the only way to experience a view just like this.
From snowy Alpine County, on Highway 4, I'm John Bartel. Hope to see you on the back road.
And we always want to hear what's going on in your community. You can shoot the team an email at tothepoint@abc10.com. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great and safe weekend. You know, it's Dine Downtown in Sacramento. The city of Stockton's also doing Restaurant Week, so maybe enjoy a meal out on the town at a local business this weekend. Take care.
Hey, it's Alex. Just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. I really love hearing from everyone, and I hope that you'll stay in touch. Reach out to me on Facebook at AlexBellTV, or you can email me at tothepoint@abc10.com, or you can even send me a text message at 916-321-3310.